Hello, and welcome to Lawful Insight. My name is Trisha Morales Padilla, and I'm going to be bringing you bite-sized pieces of information to help you kind of navigate the bumpy road of divorce and custody issues. In each episode, I'm going to be bringing you some information that will help hopefully understand the process and make your road a little less bumpy. If you have any questions when you're listening to this, you can email us at lawfulinsightpodcast@gmail.com. You can check us out on our website at moralespadillaLaw.com, or you can give us a call at 210-410-8013. Thanks for listening. Again, my name is Trisha Morales Padilla. I am an attorney here in San Antonio, Texas. And today, this is episode 9. I want to be talking to you a little bit about the timeline and the process for divorce and custody. First, I want to talk about divorce. So when we're talking about a timeline for divorce, you're going to file what's called your petition, letting the court know that you're filing a divorce lawsuit. From when you file the petition, Texas mandates that you have a 60-day waiting period. So you have to wait 60 days to finalize any type of a divorce. In that 60 days, though, there's different benchmarks kind of along the way that you can choose to utilize if you need to. So when the petition is filed, what is attached to it is something called a standing order, and it operates as similarly as a temporary restraining order. And it has everything in there that's just basically for all divorce and custody suits that cover what you can and can't do with the children. You can't hide them, you can't withdraw them from school, you can't move them. What you can and can't do with your spouse, you can't harass them, you can't annoy them, you can't have any kind of a domestic violence, injure, physical, verbal, anything like that. It covers accounts. You can't close accounts. You can't change passwords on accounts. You can't keep your spouse away from the accounts by, changing passwords or withdrawing all the funds. It talks about community property. You cannot sell anything. You can't liquidate things. You can't hide stuff. So it kind of goes over all different scenarios as far as that goes. So that's the standing order that gets attached to all divorce and custody matters. So that way everybody's kind of on notice that this is what we can and can't do during the pendency of the lawsuit. So while the lawsuit is pending, whether it be a divorce or a custody until it gets to the finalization, that's what the standing orders govern. Now, in addition to that, for a divorce or for a custody issue, you can have a hearing of what's called temporary orders. In temporary orders, it's what's going to further govern what's going to happen during the pendency of the lawsuit. So for divorce, and if there's children, and for custody, you're going to determine who's going to be the primary parent, who are the kids primarily going to live with. It's going to determine who pays child support and what that amount is. It's going to determine who's covering the children on health insurance. And it's going to determine, that will then determine if it's not in summer, what school they're going to go to and stuff like that. Now, if it's a divorce action and you have property and you have a house, it will also include who is going to have exclusive use and possession of the residence. And it will also govern how the bills are going to get paid. And normally what the judges will do is they will continue with what's called the status quo. They're going to want any bills that are being paid to continue to be paid, however that needs to happen. So that is what temporary orders is. And temporary orders is going to govern until the final hearing. From there, you'll have then a final hearing, and the final hearing will cover everything else that's not covered in temporary orders. So it will finalize it from temporary orders. And then for divorce actions, it will also govern, do houses need to be sold, who's going to be ultimately responsible for the debts, how is the division of the property going to work itself out. That process, though, from petition filing to final, that timeline can vary depending on what are the issues in question, what property do you have. Like I said previously, Texas mandates a 60-day waiting period, so it can't be shorter than 60 days, but I have seen divorces take anywhere from the exact 60 days all the way to a year if there's a property that needs to be sold, depending on how the parties want to work that out. So it can be lengthy, it can be a short amount of time, it just depends. Something else to consider in the divorce process or the child custody process as well is if you're going to do discovery. And discovery is a certain mechanism that you can utilize to gather information from either party as far as what their case is, what evidence that they have that they may use against you at trial. And that would be something to discuss with whatever attorney that you decide to hire if discovery would be appropriate in your case. But as far as the timeline goes, that's basically the timeline. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 210-410-8013. Check us out on our website at moralespadillaLaw.com. And thank you for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe or like this. If you are listening to this podcast on Podbean, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe so you can know when a new podcasts come out, and you can utilize the different episodes just based on the information that you need. Thanks.